back till it's gone. It'd be a paradise to put up a fucking line.
Hello friends, welcome to Meeting Recap Roundtable. My name is Tom Lord, and with me tonight we have both the Water Girls, Brandy James and Michelle Peters. We have the fabulous Chris Lattice Drake and the man who needs no introduction, Chris Robertson. Tonight it is a special edition we're calling St. Cloud Water, the Dirty Truth. Originally we planned to do this water special about 2 weeks ago, as we came upon the 1-year anniversary of the huge utilities public forum where over 100 people crowded City Hall. But we had some technical difficulties that prevented that from happening, so we're doing that now. As you probably know, some people were starting to report issues with resin appearing in their water again. And this happened at the last city council meeting, so we're going to play that clip for you.
Thank you for your patience. If you'll step forward and share your name and address for the record.
Sharon Lowen. This is my first time to visit, much less to speak, and I might have filled my form out a little bit too thoroughly. I'm not technical enough or aware of politics or processes enough to actually comment on these resolutions and specifics in them. But I do have a very serious plea to put before the council, because you had several resolutions that regarded water meters, water treatment, waste management, and etc. As a citizen of St. Cloud, I do not feel safe using the water for which I pay. The pigging process, the ice pigging process, actually took place right in front of my house because I have a fire hydrant there, and I went out and took pictures. It was rather interesting to see. But then I receive a little note from OUC reminding that we're supposed to, every year, drain our water heaters. Well, my water heater was only 18 months old, but because it's a new house, I went ahead and drained it. And when I saw what came out of that water heater, went into my kitchen, into my dishwasher, into my shower, I was appalled. I realized that I had used that water to wash over open incisions after surgery. I used it to wash my dishes, to cook my food. I drank straight from the spigot, always have, never had a doubt in the past. But this made me question my health now. And I have had no proof that the water has actually improved. I know it's a major undertaking. I know you're looking at spending money on things that have to do with water treatment and our city's water. I'm just asking you to give me water that is safe to bathe my grandchildren in, safe to drink, safe to cook with, safe to run through a dishwasher, knowing my dishes will come out cleaner. I guess depending on which dishwashing cleanser I use, right? But I want to feel safe completely using the water provided by the city that I'm paying for. And I would like proof when that water is clean and safe again. And I know I'm not alone in this. You may get lots of phone calls. I don't know, but I hear and read a lot. Just get on Facebook. You hear everything that they're complaining about, right? But I personally just want to make that plea. I want to feel safe with the water that's provided to me that I pay for.
Thank you, Ms. Lowen.
Thank you.
Will you have staff follow up there?
I'd like to have the...
So at this point, we had heard before this a couple of complaints. Brandy had heard, and we'll get to that in a minute. But after hearing Ms. Lowen's plea to the city council, the city manager, Bill Sturgeon, had something to say.
I'm going to ask Ms. Craig if you'll come on up at this time.
And if while she walks up, Mayor, if I could make a few comments. First
Yes, you
off,
may.
I want to make it perfectly clear, I don't run the city off social media. There's a lot of misinformation out there and incorrect, non-factual information about our water system. This lady right here is the best in the business. She's been here 6 months. She's done the yeoman's work. And I know where that water was at a year ago. When I became manager, I was handed a mess, and we got it, and we continue to get after it. And so this stuff on social media is not correct, it's not factual, and it's not helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, before we get into a discussion about Mr. Sturgeon's comments, I'd like to point out that this is not the first time that Mr. Sturgeon has tried to downplay residents' complaints about the water. Is it, guys?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, before this meeting had happened, Brandy was on Channel 2 News with Megan Mulatto and talking about, residents seeing the resin in the water once again. And, tell us about that.
Yeah, I think it was a week prior to this meeting, I had experienced resin in my water again. It was my house specifically. This wasn't pictures I got from somebody else. This was my own personal experience. I went to go run my child a bath to give my 2-year-old son, his nightly bath, and the water was orange. And his toys are orange. And after as much work and as much complaining as we've done,
For years.
I feel defeated. It's really frustrating. It's heartbreaking that we're still dealing with this.
How many years in?
Yeah.
How many?
When did
it start?
I first made my first complaint to the city in January of 2016. So now we're in 2021. So
5 years.
5 years I've been having this battle with the city personally. And I know other people in the community have separately been having their own
Same length of time.
their own battles, being told the same thing that I was told,
Yeah.
that it was only my house.
Yep.
And I think
told
we're
that too.
way past hearing, social media is full of misinformation. They've had many years to fix this problem and clear up any misinformation they feel is
Well,
out
that's-
there.
Yeah, I mean, they have
Exactly
a
right.
weekly or bi-weekly forum where they can literally get up there and if there's
Say what's
something that
wrong.
we've said that is incorrect, you have the floor to tell the citizens exactly what was wrong with what we
Yeah,
said.
and correct us because we keep telling people. So if there is misinformation, we'd like to know it because we did a lot of research to give you what we're giving you.
I'd like to know how you know it's misinformation when you've never been to our homes individually. And for those of us who've been complaining about our water and our lack thereof of quality in that water, since 2017, I personally made my first phone call in a different subdivision from where you guys live. And I happened to be told the exact same thing.
That it's
You were the
your
first
house.
house built, you're the only house, it was your fault, it's your pipes, it's you, it's you,
Well,
it's
didn't
you.
they assume you were on well too?
Oh,
at first?
and at one point in time, they told me it was my well water, which I
Isn't-
have city water
Isn't
completely.
that under this administration you were lied to?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it under
Yes,
this
ma'am.
administration you were
well,
lied to?
Okay.
The starting.
To be fair,
it crossed over.
my first conversation, the current administration was not in office, but only 8 months later,
But it was still the same.
they
story.
took office,
Same
and
story.
this was already a known problem. So saying that
It's only your house.
it's only my house, saying that you inherited a problem, that's fine. You may have well inherited it,
tell
but
me
you
what it
have
was.
you've had plenty of
Now,
time.
I will note,
to
he
address
was
it.
assistant city manager at the time in 2016.
Bill Sturgeon was?
Yes, he was.
Interesting. So Bill already was well aware of what
He
was
was well
going on.
Well, I want to tell you that I'm looking at an inter-office memorandum from October 8th of 2017, and that was a month and a half before I called initially, my first phone call to the city about the quality of my water, and that was when I had to change out my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 9th appliance in my home that contains water. That would be a toilet, a sink, a tub, a dishwasher, a garbage disposal, and my washer and my hot water heater. So anyway, and there's
A lot of appliances.
a lot of appliances. So long story short, I'm looking at this interoffice memo, October 8th of 2017, and I called, I think it was, if I remember correctly, right around November 22nd, because that was my mother-in-law's birthday. And so the first line I read in this thing is, the following are my recommendations to resolve the existing water plant 4 and 1 problems.
Who wrote it?
This was actually from James T. Moore, the Environmental Utilities Director,
To who?
to William Sturgeon, the city manager.
Yeah.
On the subject was the water plant recommendation. The recommendation was not to repair, but to replace.
And
that
this was what
in
year again?
2017. That's October 8th of
Was this
2017.
administration in then?
January of
Oh, okay.
2016.
And did you hear anything for 2 years it took 2 years after that for them to tell the residents about it. At our
But
first
the only
meeting.
reason they told the residents because y'all got
You got
involved.
right. We got the news. We actually started. Getting,
Well, to be fair, I want to be 100% fair here.
Yes.
The citizens that live in Canoe Creek Lakes had gotten very loud.
Yes.
We
Oh, yes,
all
they did.
were encouraging each other to call the city,
Nonstop.
contact them until we got some resolve because we've been dealing with it for so long.
And they kept telling us
So
the
they
same story.
did initially set up a meeting for just Canoe Creek Lakes residents,
October 16th.
and that was October 16th of
2019.
2019.
The
But
problem
that's
is
2 years
they knew
after.
it
How
was
long-
more
how long
than
ago was
just
that?
Canoe Creek Lake.
They absolutely
was
knew
2
that,
years.
but they wanted to shut us up
But
because
that's-
they knew that there was so many people that were
They couldn't
starting
shut
to
us
make
up anymore.
noise that they couldn't
Shut
keep
us
it
up
under
anymore.
wraps any
But
longer.
that was October 16th of 2019.
19.
Well,
19.
that to me would be 2 years and
2
8
years.
days after this.
After that, so
and let
they
me
knew.
reiterate now that I have a moment. The following are my recommendations to resolve the existing water plant number 4 and number 1 problems. Potential solutions to make the water plants perform better. Okay, ready? The 2 existing vertical filters at the water plant number 4 cannot be repaired and
they made it
must
very
be
clear.
replaced as soon as possible.
They made it clear.
Tell them
Took 2
again,
years.
October 8th of 2017.
Didn't they try to repair them at first?
Many times.
Yeah,
over.
that's what
way
I thought.
before this.
They tried to weld them, right?
Yeah, over
Oh,
for a
they-
few
they
years.
did-
That was
Instead of
the
replace.
issues began back around 2015.
Yeah.
But
So
this
this
is
was
when they
not-
knew to replace,
But
and
because-
none of us knew about it. They didn't tell
Yeah.
me that there was resin in the water. They kept saying,
And
"We'll
just
flush it."
because
either.
the problem occurred before Mr. Sturgeon came
Doesn't
to
mean
office
it-
in 2017, he has meetings with his directors every day.
Yeah.
This is nothing new. Every Monday they all get together. I mean, this is
You know,
They
after,
know this problem
after
existed.
so many years, hearing Mr. Sturgeon specifically say that there's misinformation being put out there, it's like a slap in the face because this has been a battle, and you, Mr. Sturgeon, have not been helpful with communicating from the very beginning, unless you are forced.
And there's misinformation
So stop
coming
insulting
about
our
it.
what I
intelligence.
feel it's even worse is as soon as this lady sat down, he immediately just called it all misinformation. She's
Without saying what?
experiencing this. I mean,
Without
this is a
saying what?
citizen
Exactly
who
my
is
point.
disrespected right
Exactly my
there
point.
in the meeting when she got done saying, "Hey, I'm
my
having
point.
this issue still." This isn't something she read online. She's having it in her own home
Right.
and worried about her grandbabies.
And her
It's her personal
And-
experience.
and her hot
and
water
that's a
heater is
slap in
only
the face,
18
and
months
it's-
old.
it's
18 months
I
old.
disrespectful.
actually wanted to know what flyer that they sent out. Did they send an email out? Did they go door to door and send out anything at any point?
Yeah.
And I would love for you to show it to me. One that said there was resin in our water and the plant. Tell us that polisher had a crack in it. Just one
Their
that
favorite
told
word.
us the truth.
Discoloration.
No.
Discoloration.
Tell us what it was instead of a color that actually you only had in your own house. Not even that everybody had it. Because I didn't know until that meeting on October 16th. We had no idea.
had no idea what we were
So many
consuming.
people, and we thought it was only our neighborhood. And there happened to be a couple people from different neighborhoods
Yeah, Keystone, I think.
that heard about the meeting. And so I'm sitting at that meeting. Actually, we're both sitting there. We're like, and they showed us a map of all the different places that are having it. And I go, none of these people know that the other people are having the problem.
We didn't.
We literally
We
walked
didn't.
out of that meeting, and in 30 minutes, we had a website up, stcloudwater.com. We had a website up.
Our sister site.
And so we literally made that site to make sure, because I said not everybody has Facebook.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure everybody could know and tell the neighbors a way that they could get the
Get
information.
information.
I was that person who was right next door to you guys and did not know about it, and kept being told time and time again it was rust in my pipes because I was the first house on my block. It was
Same.
my water.
was
And
always
that
my
was after
excuse.
they figured out that it wasn't my well because I don't have a well. I have city water that I pay heftily for. By the way,
Yeah.
Let me reiterate that my water
So that-
quality is
this
depleting while my
administration-
prices are going up.
This administration continued to misinform, talk about having misinformation. There's blatant lies that they told the citizens.
Yep.
And then they kept it going, and then never, again, I'd
No
love to
matter
see-
what the problem is, just be honest.
Honest.
Be
God
transparent.
forbid
Tell the
that was
citizens. Don't disrespect them when they're coming up to the podium and they're saying, "Hey, we have a problem." Just be honest. Say, "Hey, we've messed up. We're trying to fix it."
Well, what's even more frustrating?
Now you've cost us many millions after the fact, and I don't know. I
What's
don't know
even
what
more
to say about that anymore.
frustrating being insulted is he doesn't even live in the city.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to deal with this.
Right.
You don't have to deal with this.
No.
It's not cool.
Well, my favorite is how they all talk about how they all drink the city water, and yet I posted something back in October clearly showing that's not the case.
No.
That the city has its own bottled water, and that's what's drank in City Hall. And then in one of the town hall meetings or whatever they did for Positive Osceola, I see Nathan sitting there drinking bottled water at home.
Was it
Who,
a
by the
Zoom-
way,
it was a Zoom
he
meeting,
lives
right?
like the next subdivisions down from me, a couple subdivisions down from
It
me.
was a Zoom meeting and
It
a
was a
bottle
Zoom
of
meeting,
water.
yes, and I posted it on Facebook, and to which people were saying it's petty. But you know what's really petty? I'll tell you what's petty. Petty is when I don't know what's going in my body. Petty is that I don't know what's being consumed in my family, in my pets,
grandchildren?
in my skin. And the fact of the matter is, I could drink bottled water. I can get all that. I still have to bathe in my home
Your son
in
is
this
eating
stuff
the
that's
toys
coming
that
into
are
my
on it.
pores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since January,
And you're lying in my face.
Since January of 2016, since I first reported this issue, the city has compensated me one 24-pack
Oh,
of
you
bottled
got water?
water.
I didn't get nothing.
One 24-pack in 5 years.
got
Thank
nothing.
you.
Well, and I can tell you, Deer Creek residents, when they had a boil water notice for 6 days,
Yeah.
they weren't compensated anything.
Oh no, they were. They were. On May 21st, Chris Robertson procured 100 cases of water during a pandemic with his own time, his
Own
own
money.
money, his own efforts, and his own vehicle in the pouring rain, and went and gave out the,
Yeah.
the water.
I mean,
Well,
city- the city
and
won't do
with
it.
the help of some of the residents
That's
in
who
there,
did.
they spoke
And you know
out
what's
said,
funny
hey, we
is,
need some help.
I didn't receive that first case of water until after you did that.
I still haven't
funny.
received a case of water.
Well, this one, what's
Well,
funny
and
is, I didn't know they did anything for the water until we started.
And I
this.
hope they're doing something for the residents right now, because I hear that there's another water main break, and the residents of Deer Creek, Esprit, and Whaley's Creek are experiencing
Today,
a boil
just
water
How
happened.
did they find that
Just
out? Can I
happened to
ask
be
you that?
today.
By text message and some phone calls. Nothing on the city website or
They don't
going
want it
out on the
public.
city
They
Facebook
want everybody
page.
to know
I
about
think
it.
everybody in the city needs to know that.
Did they go door to door
That-
and hang hangers or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
So we're
Because
not
that's
sure
a
that every
surefire way
resident.
when you get home to know the
Yeah,
boil
because-
water.
So hold on. So we're not sure that every resident
been
in any of those communities knows that they're on their boil water.
I don't know that. No, this is from one resident.
And
who
every
told me,
time,
yeah.
there's something like this happens, it's always our responsibility to go make sure you check the water page, on our city's website. It's not my responsibility to inform
Especially
everybody
for
else
boil
around
water.
me.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's
And that's the thing. You want to talk about misinformation out there on Facebook? How about putting some information out there? Inform the residents. Hey, we've got issues out there.
If you're proactive, you can nip it in the bud.
Fix our dang city. That's the whole problem here.